Hi, folks. I'm really excited because this week we're making a change from our section of the course that's been dealing with sight largely. And sight is exciting, I have to say, but we're moving into sound, and sound is often overlooked. As we go around the world, we really give preference to sight. Sight's incredibly important to most of us if we have good eyesight, and our brains are consumed with what we're seeing. But sound is there too, and it's great to turn your attention to it, to really be mindful of the sounds around you. So this is a week where you're going to really get to start to think about sound and the sounds around you. If you stop and just listen, you hear things that you wouldn't have heard otherwise if you actually tune in, if you attend, if you tend to, I love that word, attend, to tend to the world, to tend to the world of sound, to be an attendant to this incredible thing that's going on around us. Vibrations happening all around us. Now, sound is caused by vibrations. It can be in any kind of a medium. And for instance, when I'm talking about vibrations, I'm talking about this. So here's a little cymbal, and I need my whacker, my cymbal whacker. And when I hit it, I'm going to deform this metal a little bit, and then the metal's going to spring back. And it's going to create a compression in the air. And then it's going to go a little too far and spring back the other way. A little rarefaction or stretched out area of the air, and then boom again into the air and create another compression, and those compressions are going to be moving out through the air. So when they hit somebody's ear, the eardrum will vibrate. Now, right now you're hearing that because the microphone on the computer has sent electricity down to the central processing unit of the computer and turned those compressions from compressions in the air to an electrical signal, and the central processing unit turning it into a code of ones and zeros, which is being stored on a server and spit back to your computer, where your central processing unit is turning it back into electrical signal that goes to the speaker, and the speaker is whacking the air, which is causing compressions to go out and hit your eardrums. Whew, it's amazing. It's amazing. But even just the basic thing, even just me sitting here by myself, even if I wasn't recording it for you, and I am loving recording it for you because it's fun thinking of you at the other end of this, but anyway, even me just sitting here by myself going, I mean, it makes me just feel so excited to think there's sound, there's compressions, there's hearing. Okay, now sound, because it's a vibration, has two main variables that we can be concerned with. How frequent the vibrations are. Very frequent. Not so frequent. Very frequent is high pitch. Not so frequent is low pitch. That's one variable, how frequent the vibrations are coming. And then there's the variable of how hard the vibrations are coming. So, a very soft, low-pitched sound. A very loud, low-pitched sound with hard vibrations that are still not very frequent. Very soft, high-pitched sound. They're frequent, but they're not very hard. And this is a very high-pitched sound that is very loud. Right, a scream. By the way, 3,000 hertz, or 3,000 cycles per second, is the pitch of the human scream. It's also the frequency that our ears are most sensitive to. Wonder why? See, in evolution, we evolved to be sensitive to screams. It's important, right? And also, screams evolved to be at the pitch that our ears are most sensitive to. Those things went along with one another. So actually, when we are hearing things and using our ears, we are invoking many, many millions of years of evolution. All of our ancestors are in every bit of our hearing life. It's a cool thing to think that our grandparents and our great-grandparents and our great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents are all encoded in the way that our hearing actually works. Now, I was saying that there are two variables. There's loudness and there's pitch. And let me give you an idea of just a pitch here. I can play it softer and louder to some extent. That's a G. Now those variables don't quite capture everything about that note, because if I play a G on the guitar, it sounds different. Even if you didn't see the guitar, you'd know that that was not a recorder. And if I play one on the harmonica, it sounds different again, because pitch doesn't quite capture everything, and even pitch with loudness doesn't quite capture everything about a sound, because there are often, even with notes on a musical instrument, there are impurities or overtones, harmonics that creep in because of the nature of the instrument, the nature of the object that is vibrating. If you listen to music, you are going to be hearing the music in part as changes in loudness and pitch, but also as part of the quality or timbre of the individual notes. So if you have a yodeling pickle, there's a lot going on that's not just notes and loudnesses. All right, so we've got the idea that vibrations cause sounds, and that vibrations can be hard or soft, and that vibrations can be frequent or less frequent, and also that there are actually combinations of things going on in most sounds. How do these things travel? Well, I mentioned that with the cymbal, these vibrations cause little compressions, and the compressions traveled out through the air. Air molecules don't like, quote unquote, like to be too close together, so if they get squished by this thing banging into them, they tend to bang into the ones next to them, which bang into the ones next to them, which bang into the ones next to them, and travel out across through the air. But sound can also travel through solids. In fact, it's doing so right now in my head. If you put your hand on your head and you go bum, 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 you try it. Bum. Okay, bum, bum, bum. I'm feeling some vibrations in my skull bone. Bum, 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 bum. It works really well when my the low pitch, that's the best. Anyway, that's why your voice sounds so different to you than it does on a recording. Now, your voice actually sounds the way it does on a recording. Sorry. Everybody hates the sound of their own voice on a recording, or most people do. But the fact is that that's the way it sounds. You're just not used to it. The reason it sounds different to you is because most of your voice is coming at you through your skull bone. That is, it's not going out of your mouth, zoom, and into your ear. It's going through your skull and into your ear. And into your hearing mechanism, and it sounds really quite different than somebody else would hear it. You can actually experience this issue of sound moving through solids and how well sounds move through solids with one of my very favorite party tricks. Now, I have rescued many boring parties with this. People are getting ready to go home. Everybody's like, okay, that was an okay party. And then I say to the host or hostess, hey, do you have an oven rack? And I get my shoelaces out, and I get their oven rack like this. And I tie my shoelaces around the oven rack and make some little loops. And then you put your fingers through this, and you got to let your oven rack hang free. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to move my computer back just a little bit so that you can see how this is going to hang. Okay, so I'm going to put my fingers in my ears like this, and then usually you get somebody else to help you. So you get somebody to bang on it with their hands, or it's really great, you can get like a pair of scissors or a wooden spoon like this, and if you whack on it, it sounds a little something to you, but oh my gosh, this is amazing! The sound is so much more intense. It's like I'm inside a church. Oh my gosh. I'm serious. You think I'm doing this just for the video? I'm actually amazed, and this is like the 100th time I've done this. Believe me, if you do this, you will be happy that you did it. In fact, I will give anybody extra credit for this class if you will make a video of yourself showing this to somebody. Now, the reason I'm giving you extra credit is because it won't just be extra credit for this class, it'll be extra credit for your life. In which case, we both get extra credit because the whole human race is getting to be better. Because if we are more excited, if we are more enthusiastic, we are better. Really. Enthusiastic, you know what it means. Entheos, that's what it comes from. Spirit inside. And that's what we're all about. I mean, I've been a little bit subdued in most of my videos up till now because I'm a little scared. You know, what if they think I'm wacky crazy? But it's halfway through the semester and I am breaking out the yodeling pickle and the oven rack trick, and I'm saying this is an exciting field. And if we can't get excited, if we can't share our enthusiasm, then what are we doing? What are we doing? So I want you to go out and think about creating some really interesting sound effects for the project this week, paying attention to the way you hear, the way hearing relates to what you see, and maybe you might even do something where you like blindfold yourself and just sit and listen. Try to listen really hard to the way things sound. Now, we have spring break coming up next week, and so what I've done is I've pushed the assignment due date back to when it's the end of spring break. I really figured that people might want to get it done this week and then just go ahead and have next week off. But I also understand that spring break for you may not mean the same thing because you're working or whatever. And so you are welcome to take the extra week, get caught up on things and so on. There's also a chance instead of a forum this week to give some feedback to one another. And I hope you take one another seriously, think about the other person as a media artist and give them some feedback. You're going to have a required person to respond to and then two other you can totally choose from. The assignment for this week, which is the sound effects assignment I alluded to earlier, is going to be something that is going to be best explained with me showing you some screenshots, and there are also a number of examples that I have linked to on the assignment page, and I will have another video for you related to that later. But for right now, go out and listen.